can sometimes be game over. So in this case, basically just going to go up towards the Colossus feed. Once we get enough gas here, put it down our robos. In his case, he's going to end up putting down a robo, and he's going to go for Immortals, and I'm going to go for Colossus, just like the previous game. So it's a gas feed strategy, as you can probably tell from this kind of whole theme that we've been going through here with double protoss teams, which really is the strongest strategies for double protoss. Yep, so we can kind of see that, they're poking up the ramp a little bit. That's usually a sign that, they're about to come barreling up this ramp, so we're just ready to force field as soon as possible. I'd say we don't want to fight them quite yet. I mean, technically we could probably win this fight as it is, but it doesn't hurt to just put down some force fields and buy a little time for another warping. Especially if you know that they didn't 15 hatch. It's not like you have to worry about, taking out their unit and getting across the map and denying that expansion. So, I got my robo bait going down at this point, got an observer out, and I'm basically just going to kind of keep tabs on how much they got here. And eventually I am going to send that across map, but for now I kind of want to just keep an eye on where their army is. Because for all I know, the Terran might have gone medevac, and if all of a sudden I have my observer cross map and he drops in my mineral line, I might lose, 5 or more workers before I can actually deal with that drop. And we'll just speed it up here, because there's not much that's going to happen for the next minute or two. Just in a sec here, I'm going to end up putting my observer, and I'm going to send him across map, because we don't know a whole lot at this point, and you can only assume at this point that they're expanding. If they didn't try and push up that ramp, they've probably expanded. So I spot that they're kind of camping out in the middle of the map. And, well, what do you know, he's got an expand up, but he didn't 15 hatch, and he didn't have an expand up even, like, immediately after my scout was there the first time round. And, I mean, you could technically feed, a player towards DTs in this case, and then, if they have detection, Morphin Archon, but I really don't enjoy going DTs against Zerg that much, because I don't really find it to be that effective. Zerg has the best detection as it is. It's often the case that they're going to have to spore up, or else they're tier 2 and they can simply morph an overlord. And especially with a Terran partner, often they're going to have at least one scan. You can see right here, yeah, they do have a scan, plus another orbit over here, which would have been 2 scans, so. DTs are a good strat, but I don't really feel that they're that strong against a Terran Zerg team. Alright, and as you can see, this fight is quite lopsided. And since the Zerg has an expand out here and it's not an in-base expansion, all that we're going to do then is go and camp on this ramp, because this way we can keep hitting on all their production buildings, and it makes it really difficult for the Zerg to try and macro and keep his units split up. Because if you're like me, I always add in all my units as soon as I create them into a control group. So, if they're here and I put them all like in control group 1, all of a sudden I have these units moving when I don't want them to, and it just becomes a real hassle for the Zerg players. Not to mention, it's a good idea to take out Terran production, because this is really, the only way they're going to fight back is if they ever get production on it. And this game is basically over. So, we're going to go ahead and hop into the next game, and we got a little bit something different in the next game for you guys. Okay, here we go. Game 3, and the final game for this evening. So, it's going to be a similar strat to last game. Once again, going to do the Colossus feed. And as soon as I get my pylon placed, I'm going to go ahead and scout on 9, just to figure out exactly what they're doing. We're back again to, just like the first game, a Protoss and Zerg team. I'd say the Zerg's going to end up doing a 15 hatch. And he's just going to do a pretty typical build, gate on 12, gas on 14. And then he gets a second gas pretty quickly, as you're going to be able to see here in a sec. So that essentially allows my partner and I to tech up a little bit quicker, because we know, rush strategies. We don't have to worry about a 4-gate and massling or something like that. Especially when you get a second gas like that, because that's a big investment, and it's really going to take away from your minerals. So he's not going to have nearly enough units. So once again, going in here, in this case he did a 14 pull, 14 gas. So I guess I was wrong on my prior part where I said he expand on it with a 15 hatch, but either way, I'd say he most likely did it because my partner's a random player and he was afraid that he might have been Zerg. This is a smart play. So this guy's going to end up taking off a gas once he gets speed, and then he's going to build a 21 expansion very shortly thereafter. His partner has already got a second gas up, so my partner and I both put up our gas very quickly. And in this case, my partner's the one doing the Colossus build, and I am going to go 3-gate Immortal. And just go ahead and speed it up a little bit. There's not a whole lot that happens right here. I'd say I am, though, able to keep a scout alive on the map and get a whole lot of information. So that's why it's really important to try and keep that initial scout alive. So when you know those first lings or that first stalker's coming out, try and hide them somewhere on the map. Because, you know, if they do a 21 expand, or, you know, maybe you're not able to get in the base and determine if he takes off gas or not, if you go and hide your probe like up here, somewhere just obscure where he's not going to be spotted, you can always just come back in and be like, okay, well, he did do a 14 pull, but he expanded. So I don't have to, that basically narrows down kind of the things that you have to deal with. And it also means that, you know, his push is going to be at least a minute delayed if they somehow did like some kind of massling, baneling with 4-gate or something like that. So he goes Robo here, just like my partner and I. And because we were able to kind of tech up a little bit quicker and cut some corners, I'd say he was able to get Colossus out a little bit quicker because he went straight into Robo after his first gateway. And we were also able to determine that they both expanded. Now this is really greedy on their part, and you're going to see in a minute why you just cannot get away with this. Because if both of these players expand, at most the Zerg might have even supply, even army supply that is, with either one of us. However, his partner for sure is going to be behind. I'd say Zergs can definitely expand a lot quicker, but you can't do this as protoss in this situation. It's just too risky. So we're going to even push out 9:30, which is even quicker than the last games, which was about 30 seconds later. And the other games we were able to push out right around about 10 minutes. But as you can see, we're cross map, right around 10 minutes in, and he doesn't have a whole lot besides sentries, and these sentries aren't going to do so great against Colossus. So even though, you know, he was spending his gas on use some for his army size, and hopefully, you know, make the army a little more efficient, it doesn't really work out against a gas feed strategy like this where we go Colossus. And we did finally run out of force fields, and we're kind of able to get close here, but with all 3 Immortals that we have out here, there's just no way they're going to be able to fight us. And he's got a Colossus out as well, but as you can see, he doesn't have range, and when you have a higher Colossus count like this, you just can't compete. So that's basically all you guys really need to see about going as double protoss on maps where you don't have kind of an in-base hatchery, and you're going against a Zerg team and with, you know, either a Terran or a Protoss partner. Because there's basically 2 major options that a Zerg and anything team's going to do. They're either going to do one player does a quick expand, and the other player does, you know, maybe a couple early units to kind of harass, or they're going to do some kind of all-in where the Zerg keeps on gas, and ideally you're going to be able to try and scout this and see if he, you know, keeps on gas after your initial scout and after he gets his first 100 gas, because that's really going to be a big tell in this matchup. Alright, well, I hope you guys enjoyed these videos, and hopefully in the future you won't dread double Protoss teams like my partner and I used to in the past. Thanks for watching.